bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
What can be done to curb increasing tuition costs? Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Jill Horner. This hour's Newsmakers, Michael Riccards, Executive Director of the Hall Institute of Public Policy, New Jersey. Today we're talking about rising tuition costs at New Jersey's colleges. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get into tuition, when we talk about the Hall Institute, why is your organization concerned with tuition costs?
Well, we think that's one of the major issues that people are facing in the state and, of course, throughout the nation. We're focusing on 9 different areas, one of which is education. You can't talk about education and higher education without talking about people's concerns over tuition and fee increases.
And it seems as if you can't separate higher education from these other issues like healthcare, like jobs in the state.
No, I think they're very important because the question of jobs, economic development is very much linked up with higher education. It is the engine in many ways of economic development.
How much of an increase are we talking about in terms of tuition for New Jersey's colleges and universities?
Well, it depends on the colleges, but you're talking in some cases about 5%. Now, 5% multiplied every year through good times and bad times really gives a tremendous impact on certain families that can't afford to have their tuition go up. The difficulty, of course, is that it's going up all across the country. At the same time, the federal government has lowered its ability to really help you in terms of federal grants and even subsidized loans.
When we talk about increasing tuitions, decreasing federal student grants, is this particularly important for New Jersey because we do have such a high cost of living? It's
very important for New Jersey. It's also very important for people that come from the lower and lower middle classes, because that type of money really is very difficult to come by in terms of disposable income. So people are graduating now with much higher levels of indebtedness because both tuition is going up, but also the amount of forgive loans are going down.
Moving forward and thinking about some potential solutions, is there anything that these colleges and universities can do in order to curb costs and in the long term benefit these students and their families?
Well, one of our papers is done by Robert Haney, who's taken a look at the costs in New Jersey. And it's a long, comprehensive paper. Other people have examined as well the question of what we can do. I think we have to look at the question of building buildings. How many buildings are we building? And in fact, how many do we need for the future? The second thing is we have to look at the fact that 80% of any college's budget is really personnel. We have to look at faculty workload. Can we deliver instruction in different ways than we have now that are really much cheaper? I think those questions have been asked, but they haven't been answered. All of those things should be now on the table. We cannot say that we believe that tuition should continue to go up regardless of what's happening to the cost of living.
Will students make different decisions about attending colleges and universities within the state of New Jersey if they may be able to get a better deal somewhere else when we're talking about long-term debt for them?
Sure, they're doing that already. They're deciding that they're really not going to go to many private universities, are going to public institutions. Or they're deciding maybe I'll do 2 years at a community college, which is cheaper, and then I will transfer over to a public university, which is more expensive. So students are making those sorts of choices, but a lot of students are making the other choice, which is deciding they just can't go at all.
We talk about the concept of brain drain. With increasing tuition costs, are we going to see some of our best and our brightest not even be able to attend higher education institutions?
Well, I think you're going to see that, and you're going to see that certainly in some of the professions. Unless there is more support for engineers and scientists, we are already seeing not a brain drain, but a brain underdevelopment in this country, and that those positions are being filled in many cases by people who have come from outside the United States and really are manning a lot of our very important facilities, especially in medicine.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. We've been talking with Michael Rickards, Executive Director of the Hall Institute of Public Policy, New Jersey. I'm Jill Horner for Comcast Newsmakers.